All right, so good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see the presentation. So once again, hi and welcome to our senior parent meeting here at Kettle High School. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Chris Ho. I'm the Student Activities Coordinator here at Kettle High School. Some other hats that I also wear, I deal with the yearbook, as well as graduation and pretty much anything doing with the grade levels when it comes to activities. So we called the meeting today to kind of go over everything that relates specifically to seniors so that the parents and the students have a better understanding of exactly what's going on as we move forward with the year. So I also want to recognize we have two of our counselors here with us today. So Tina Haraguchi and Lacey Cabral are also on. Tina will be handling the chat since I'm in presentation mode. I can't really see anything that you guys put in the chat. So she'll be kind of fielding those questions. So please feel free as we go through. If you have questions during the presentation, you're welcome to type them in the chat box. There will be an opportunity towards the end to do some question and answer. I'm going to do my very best to keep this to at least no more than 1 hour. So if you'll bear with me, I just want to provide all of the information. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat box, or if you want to write them down, when we get to the end, we can kind of go over them. That way it allows us the opportunity to share out all the information for those who want to hear it, and then questions can be done at the end. Okay, so we will go ahead and get started. So like I said, welcome to the class of 2022 senior parent meeting. They are the Bulldogs. So on our agenda today, we are going to go over the graduation ceremony information, cap and gown ordering, senior banners, personal transition plan, also known as PTP, senior contract and addendum, the video media release form, yearbook, awards night, prom, obligations to the school, scholarships, college, career, and military information, as well as a question and answer at the end. Okay, so first up, we'll talk about the graduation ceremony. Okay, so before I even say anything about the graduation ceremony, I do need to add this caveat that all information provided is subject to change. As we know, with what's going on right now, we really have no idea what could happen the very next day, let alone in the next 20 minutes. So when it comes to graduation as a school, what we have looked at is making sure we have multiple opportunities and multiple venues afforded to us to recognize the graduation of our seniors. Last year, if you were not there, we were able to have a physical graduation ceremony on the field of our stadium with the restriction of 2 tickets per participating senior. As it stands right now, we are going to move forward with that again until we're given other guidelines that we have to follow. So our graduation or commencement ceremony will take place on Friday, May 20th. The gates will open at 2 p.m. The start time for the actual walking out of the students will be at 4 p.m. with the ceremony hopefully around 6 to 6:30. Okay, and it will take place in the Cougar Stadium, which, if you don't know, it's the football stadium / track stadium / soccer stadium at the bottom of the campus. Okay, so there is a 3 p.m. check-in for the seniors. So they need to make sure that they are checked in, whether they are assigned to the gym or assigned to the cafeteria. They need to be checked in their cap, gown, and tassel, with any other accoutrements that come with it. If they have cords or tassels or shawl, I don't want to say shawls, it's that other word that starts with an S that I can't really think of right now, with them. All of those are given by the school. The only external ones that are approved for wearing at the graduation ceremony are anything that is given by one of the branches of the military for those who have been enlisted. But we do ask that seniors do not externally purchase something else to wear, as it is not approved for wearing during the ceremony. Additionally, no leis can be given prior to the start of the ceremony. So yeah, 4 o'clock we'll start the ceremony. So that'll be the procession of the graduates to the staging area. And at that point in time, the gates will close exactly at 4 o'clock to have us start the ceremony. The gates will reopen once the seniors have taken their seats. So it's in best interest for those coming to the ceremony to make sure that they are inside before the gates close at 4. Otherwise, they'll be stuck outside waiting until the procession is finished before the gates reopen. The ceremony itself will conclude about 6:30, and then the students will exit out of the stadium towards the parking lot to go home. As it stands, exactly like last year, there's no congregating in the parking lot area. We ask that once everyone is finished with the ceremony, that they get in their vehicles and leave the campus. At this point in time, with everything going on, we are not permitted to have any laying of graduates on the campus, and that all must be done off the campus. Another thing is making sure that you've notified family, friends, everyone. It's best to stay home if we are not back to our normal, everyone coming to graduation. That way it keeps the street portion free and clear, so that the police are not having to coordinate traffic to make sure people are not where they're not supposed to be. So those individuals should kindly please stay home. If you do want to engage in laying of the graduates, you can literally do it anywhere but on the campus. Okay. All right, so probably around January, the seniors will get an email that is requesting for them to complete. It's a survey, and it basically is letting us know who is intent on participating. Well, yes, students filled out a senior contract. We still need to know exactly who is going to participate. Due to the fact, if it's going to be anything like we did last year, I would need to track exactly which students are coming, because the tickets that they're given are specifically to them exactly, so that we can track the amount of people and which individuals are actually coming onto the campus. Because if God forbid something happens, I need to turn over that information to administration, who then has to turn it over to Department of Health. So those surveys will go out in January, once we kind of hopefully get a little bit more understanding of what's going on. Okay, so as I said before, this is a ticketed event. And unfortunately, at this point in time, as of right now, 6:08 on September 30th, we are restricted to 2 tickets. Everyone coming through the gate must have their ticket to enter. The event will actually be live streamed. Once we have everything ironed out, that information will be given out. Previously, we had it streamed through the NFHS, which does a lot of the streaming for the athletic events. So we've done it that way, as well as utilizing our YouTube channel to do that that way as well. So we'll still make sure that we have some level of streaming available for that event, so that it can be viewed not just in the stands, but also at home or abroad outside of our island, into the mainland or wherever it needs to go. All right, so and many of your students probably know, I am a realist, and I'm going to tell you just straight up what's going on and what's happening. So currently, I just wanted to go over what the current guidance and guidelines are at this very moment with regards to our campus. And as I said before, everything is subject to change. As usual, graduation from the state perspective is completely different than anything else. So it at times has its own separate set of rules. However, if we were to run graduation right now, today, this very moment, there are 2 things that are kind of a little bit of an obstacle for us to deal with. The first one is the governor's executive order, which is on our website and has pretty much been posted pretty much everywhere. Currently, the governor has issued that any individuals coming onto a state property must show full vaccination if they are on the property if they're on the property for longer than 10 minutes, or be able to provide a negative test result within 72 hours of coming onto the property. While yes, we are a school entity, we are a state property. So with that being said, we are governed by the state. And so with the governor's executive order, that is something that we as a state entity have to follow. The other one is the superintendent memo that came out on the 22nd with regards to extracurricular activities. Graduation is technically seen as an extracurricular activity, is something that happens outside of the classroom, outside of the regular day. And with that, there are guidelines that have attached itself to extracurricular activities. So those current guidelines require participants of that particular event, graduation, to be fully vaccinated to participate, or those who have approved exemptions from the state, from Department of Education, to provide a negative test result within 48 hours prior to the event. So the first part focuses on the guests that come for graduation. The second part focuses on the participants of graduation. So like I said, I just wanted to give you kind of an understanding of what potentially could happen. Not saying that it is happening or will happen. We really have no idea. Questions have already been asked to principal, to the complex area superintendent, to others around the state. They're not quite ready to have the conversation with regards to graduation just yet. They want to hold off until more likely around January to see if things have shifted and changed. I know from having done graduation for years, it doesn't bode well or make things easier for families when people have to do airline tickets, or arrange their schedules or work schedules or anything like that. But it's best to at least have some level of information going in as we get there. So as I get information will be shared out via the school website, the app, sent out to the students, sent out to the parents. So if you're not getting our school messenger messages, please let us know. That means that the telephone number or the email address that we have for you is not correct. Okay, so diploma and report cards. For the past 2 years, we've been able to give diplomas the day of graduation to those students who are participating in graduation. I'm hoping that we're able to keep that going as it limits the students and parents or siblings for having to come back and pick up that information. So what we're looking at is the day of graduation, when the students walk across the line and they receive things, they'll actually be getting their actual diploma, their school records, and that's pretty much the extent of it. So the final report cards will not be ready and the final transcripts will not be ready by that date. So you guys will actually have to come pick those up at a later date, but the diplomas would be ready. All right, so should we have a physical graduation ceremony? These are the prohibited items. We ask that you please leave them in your vehicle or at home, or in some instances at the store where you may potentially buy them. So first up, large signs. We try to limit large signs to not having them at all, because you want to make sure that you are respecting those around you and not blocking their view of seeing their child or their whatever graduate. Other part is coolers. I've yet to see a cooler roll in at a graduation ceremony, but please don't bring coolers. Balloons also, while they're beautiful and heartfelt and fantastic, they also get in the way. So please leave balloons in the vehicle or at home. If you do end up bringing the balloons, you will have to tie them to the fence, and if they float away, they float away. We are not responsible for any lost, damage, stolen, or gone balloons. Air horns. Those are the ones that you can leave at the store or at your house. Please do not bring air horns to the graduation ceremony. It is, in all honesty, it is rather disrespectful to sound off an air horn if your child is crossing because the next name is being read and now that name is hidden amongst the air horn. So we kindly ask that we respect all those who are participating as they have worked very, very hard to get to where they are on that day. And we want to make sure that all names are able to be heard across the entire stadium and at home. I think that's it for that one. Okay, cap and gown. Cap and gown orders are done through jostens.com. And if you can see behind me, this is the cap and gown for this school year. And it's actually the cap and gown we used last year, and it will be the cap and gown that we will use every year thereafter. It will not change unless someone takes over for me or someone else comes and takes over at the school. This is what we're looking at. So it is the red with the blue navy on the cuff. Comes with the tassel and the cap. For the cap and gown basic order, it will come with gown, cap, tassel, and a diploma cover. Okay, so there is a slight new way to ordering the cap and gown. Orders are going to be done online at the jostens.com website. You are welcome to pay for it on the jostens.com website, or it'll give you an option to click print off and submit a physical payment to the school. So those are really your two options. If you've ever had a child go through here before, there used to be a physical order form that was relatively complex and had boxes all over the place. Sometimes things were not spelled right or not understood, so things got printed wrong. So to do away with all of that, all orders will be processed on the Jostens website with the opportunity to pay via debit or credit card using the website, or print off the order form and bring cash, check, money order, or I even think you can write in your credit card on that also, but that's totally up to you. So those are your two options for ordering the cap and gown. In order to participate in graduation, you only need to have ordered and physically have on you as a student cap, gown, tassel. That's it. Okay. As well as please make sure to review the cap and gown policy within the senior contract that many of you have signed, as it does restrict what you are able to do with the cap and gown. So as you see the cap and gown here right now, this is how it should look when it is on your child and they're walking out to receive their congratulatory graduation ceremony. But they would have other things that are on it, but you cannot change the cap at all. So we ask that you not alter the top. You may need to alter some of the gowns for some students depending on size. All right, so I just wanted to briefly introduce you to the Jostens website. It has changed a little bit, but not by much. So let's see if no. Sorry. So you would just go to jostens.com. It will pull up a screen that looks like this, and you're just going to click on two ways of doing it. One, My School Store, and you can search for Ke'au High School. And actually, let's do this. Jostens.com. Okay, so we're on jostens.com, and you can click here, Find My School, and you just type in Ke'au, and it pulls up right here, Ke'au High School. And once you click on Ke'au High School, it will take you to the graduation package. So as you go through here, there are packages, and I mean, the sky's the limit with things that you want to order. Class rings, sweatshirts, hoodies, socks. Literally, I think you can wear underwear. I don't know. But there's a lot of things that you can order. But like I said before, really the only thing that you need to make sure you do have is cap, gown, and tassel. So as you go through here, there's different options. You're going to go to graduation. Like I said, there's packages. You can skip the packages or you can order the packages, completely up to you. You can customize it all you want. And you're just going to go to shop graduation products. There's videos. Here's some more packages. You scroll down. This is the one you want to look for right here, cap and gown unit. So the unit itself is $39.20. So for $39.20, you will receive cap, gown, tassel, and diploma cover. Ultimately, altogether, shipping and handling plus tax brings the total to $52.50 for the whole entire thing. So you can just click on the cap and gown unit. It's going to ask you for your students' height and weight and gender. Gender is pretty much irrelevant when it comes to the color. However, for some of the cuts of the fabric, they do go off of that a little bit. So you would just enter the student's weight, and it is in ranges. Keep in mind, if you're ordering a gown for a female student, I have always told the girls, do not wear high heels, especially during May. It rains sometimes, and last year it did rain considerably and the ground was wet. The last thing we need is for a graduate to walk with their heels and it gets stuck in the grass and they go face forward, or they trip and things happen. So please refrain from high heels unless it is a dire emergency that you wear high heels, then I guess wear high heels. And then your weight option. Once you've done that, you can click through and it kind of takes you through the whole process of adding other things onto it. So for all intents, we're just gonna select real fast. No, and we keep going. No thanks, keep going. No thanks, keep going. So now we're just here reviewing our order. Once we've reviewed our order, just hit add to cart, and your options are paying with your credit card, making sure that you put your student's first and last name. And then you can also print off. So your options are in my name. Okay, so you will need to make sure, well, you can go in as a guest to order, or you can actually log in. So I will show you as a guest. And you're just gonna fill in your billing information and click continue. As you get through it, it's then gonna ask you for your payment information, and then it'll ask you how you want to process your payment, either your credit card or debit card, or to print off the form. If you print off the form, all forms and money is due to the school so that I can send it in before Thanksgiving. So please make sure you do that. If you're going to write a check, the checks need to be payable to Jostens. And you can just put Jostens, you don't have to put Incorporated or LLC, anything like that, just Jostens, no comma. Okay, so that is basically the rundown on how you would order your cap and gown. Now I do need to let you know that cap and gowns do not come in until about April. They come in as a bulk order, which is why the shipping is so low. Majority of the time, the cap and gowns are coming from the middle of the United States, and the shipping for a lot of things tends to be a lot extra. So they've limited when you would get them. They all come to the school. Okay, so the only items that come to you as a parent or as a guardian is the extra. So if you order extra actually no, if you order extra hoodies or class rings, anything outside of the cap, gown, and tassel, that will come to the mailing address that you put down. Okay, one thing that I need to make sure we're all cognizant of or aware of is the fact that if you put your mailing address as an address that does not actually get mail, it will not come to you, okay? 9 times out of 10, it gets stuck in the post office and gets sent back. So please, when you're putting mailing address, put the address that you actually can receive mail. It's the post office, fantastic. Okay, so just make sure that you're aware of what mailing address you're utilizing when you do your order. If you order extra tassels, the tassels come to me. So I'm able to give those out. As of right now, we will distribute cap and gowns on campus when we have them all together. Okay, so the students will be able to get them. If your student is on distance learning, you're welcome to come and get them on that day. If you can come during the time that we're giving them, fantastic. If not, just shoot me an email and I can set up a time for you to come get them after school. Not a problem.
Mr. Ho, there is a question.
Okay.
A parent is asking, are they able to decorate the top of the cap?
No. In the senior contract, it specifically states no alterations to the top of the cap are permitted. Great question, though. They can save that decoration of the cap for when they go to college and they get their bachelor's or they get their master's. You can't really decorate your doctoral cap because it's more of like a non-cardboarded cap, but so yeah, unfortunately, no decorations of the caps are permitted. Okay, a lot of slides for that. Okay. Oh, and one thing, if you are going to write a check and the check is written out to Jostens, in the memo line on the bottom left of your check, please make sure that you print your student's name just to make sure that we can recognize that that check is going for that particular order and for that actual student. It also helps in the processing on the Jostens side to make sure that they're attaching the check to the correct order. All right, senior banners. This is the fun one that everybody wants to know about, and a lot of times I'm too late to give them the information. So the senior banners need to be submitted to the office by April 29th if you want them hung on the first day of senior banner hanging, which is going to be May 1st. Well, I understand that May 1st is, I believe, a Sunday. Turn faster. Yes, it is a Sunday. So I will be out there hanging all of the banners that I have that got turned in by the 29th. Does not mean that you can only turn them in on the 29th. It just means whoever turns them in by that time frame will have theirs hung on Sunday, May 1st. All banners are to be submitted to the main office and can be given to the main office all the way up until May 19th. Due to the fact that graduation is on the 20th, honestly, there is really no reason why we would hang a banner the next day. So if you can, please plan accordingly. You've got between now and April 29th to give us a banner. Actually, you have now until May 19th to give us a banner. So the banners themselves should not exceed 5 feet in height. While there is no max limit on the length, if you would like to go 20, 30 feet on a banner, by all means, you're more than welcome to. They need to make sure that they have grommets though. So the grommets are the metal circle parts that are predominantly in the corner. In larger banners, there's also a couple kind of in the middle. One thing that I've noticed over the years, you want to make sure that you, one, definitely have grommets. Two, that you have enough to where the banner can actually stay flush against the fence line. A lot of the banners that I got last year were missing some of the grommets, and it made it very awkward for the banners to be attached to the fence line as parts of them were sticking forward or kind of sagging down. We ask that the images that are on the banners be appropriate for the world to see, since everyone's going to be driving by and seeing them, as well as the message that is on there is appropriate. Keep in mind that it will be facing the highway. So while some of the banners calligraphy is beautiful to see. It is definitely difficult to read as you're driving by at 15, 20, 30 miles an hour. And we don't want people to slow down to 5 or stop in the middle of the road just because they can't read what your banner says because of the writing. Make sure that the material that you're utilizing is able to handle the rain. I mean, we all live here. I mean, it was raining earlier today, it was raining tonight, probably rain for a while. You need to make sure that the material is able to sustain being in the rain for a lengthy amount of time. And then the banners will be removed on June 1st. So the banners will stay up for the entire month of May, as that is predominantly graduation season. So from May 1st until May 31st, whatever banners are put up there are up there. However, come May 20th and your graduation is finished and you are off to celebrate your graduation, if you want to take down your banner, you are more than welcome to. Any banners that have not been taken down by June 1st will be removed on June 1st and will be waiting for you in the main office. As I sit in my room tonight and I look across, I have 2 banners that have yet to still be picked up from last year. So if you've paid a good amount of money for these banners, so please make sure that you take them off of the fence line when we're done with them. Okay, personal transition plan, also known as the PTP. So pursuant to Board of Education Policy 4540, all graduating students within the entire state of Hawaii are required to complete a personal transition plan at their high school and receive a 0.5 mandatory credit. Here at Ke'ao High School, we have utilized the format of Naviance, which can be found at naviance.com. Most of the students have been told time and time again how to log in. It is also located on the school website. Basically, they just need 2 things. 1, 10-digit student ID number, and 2, their date of birth. As you can see on here, it is 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and 4 digits for the year. That's usually what trips up a lot of the students, is the 4 digits for the year. So that is how they log in. One of the components is the senior essay, which is done in the English class. So if your student currently has English for the fall semester, and that's September to December, they need to have their senior essay completed and all components of their Naviance completed by next Friday. They've had almost 3 months. In fact, they've had longer than 3 months to complete everything. And the majority of it is entering goals and doing a few assessments, and that's literally all of it. Students who have English in the spring semester, that's January through May, need to have their Naviance components, including their senior essay, completed by March 11th. Okay, so October 8th is right before fall break, and March 11th is right before spring break. Okay, so please, 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 seniors, get it done. Additionally, if your senior has taken or is currently taking English 100 and has passed or is anticipating, fingers crossed, of passing English 100, they are exempt from the senior essay. So this is an encouragement for students to strive to actually enter college and take a college course to allow for that senior English component to be removed. Okay. Okay, senior contract and the addendum. Dun, dun, dun. Hopefully all of you parents have seen this before. If not, you may need to have a conversation with your student. This is a senior contract. Every senior at our campus is required to have it filled out, signed by a parent or legal guardian to show that they understand the components necessary in order to participate in the commencement ceremony, both behaviorally, financially or fiscally, as well as academically. So this is the 2-page information part that hopefully you all still have at home. that walks you through exactly what the expectations are. Some parts of it may change, and that some part is the ticketing component, depending on what happens as we move forward in the school year. However, other things do not change. Rehearsals do not change unless things changed at the state level. But it's primarily the 2 days leading up to the graduation date itself. Excuses for not attending rehearsal will only be given on the most severe accounts. If the student is laid up in the hospital or sick, very sick to where they cannot come, which they shouldn't be coming because with everything going on, if you're sick, stay home. If you have to work, that is not an excused absence at all and will not be excused. Knowing now, if you are working, you need to make sure that you communicate to your employer, I need these particular days off. So May 18th, May 19th are the 2 days of rehearsal. The only person who can give an excuse to a senior to not come to rehearsal is the principal, no one else. I cannot excuse a student, Ms. Haraguchi cannot excuse a student, Ms. Cabral cannot excuse a student, only the principal. Okay. One thing that I do need to express is today was the final day to turn in senior contract. Today. As it stands right now, oops, not that one. There have been, a total of, I keep showing you guys all these wonderful things that I have open, my apologies. 74.8% of the senior class have turned in their senior contract. That equates to 187 seniors out of 250 have turned in their contract. 45.6% have turned in their addendum, which I will get to right now. So this is the one thing that needed to be signed by both student and parent and dropped off into the box outside of Mr. Raposa's room by today. So as of this morning at 8 a.m., that is the total that we received. The addendum, on the other hand, with 114 out of 250 submitting, basically this addendum just asks for the student's name and their telephone number and the parent or guardian's name and telephone number. And it's a way for us to help seniors understand if they're planning on going to college or engage in community college, that there are certain things that need to be done. And it's just kind of text nudges to help them remember that things need to get done in order for them to be able to go into the college system. Students can choose, as well as parents, to not participate in this. As it states in here, you can just put in zeros for the telephone number. That is completely acceptable. We just need acknowledgement from the seniors and the parents that they at least looked at and took the time to have conversation about this. So that is here. All right, video media release form. So this went home at the beginning of the year and it's still available to this date. This student publication audio video release form allows the school to utilize your student's likeness, whether it's in digital or media print. When it comes to the yearbook, in order for me to put the students' pictures, all of those beautiful images that you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars of making, in order to put them in the yearbook, I need the form and I need it to say, yes, I agree to the provisions above. If you tell me no, that means I cannot put them in. Same thing would go for the graduation program. Need to make sure that it says yes, because it's a printed program that will go out to the public to see. Okay, so please make sure that you have submitted this and it is a yes. If you have questions about this, you can contact myself or your student's counselor, and we can either give you a new one, another one, or say, yes, you've turned it in. All right, everyone's favorite thing, the yearbook. So currently the price for the yearbook is $40 and it will stay that price until the end of this year, meaning December. Once we go into the year 2022, the price will increase to $50. So get it while you can at $40. So specifically within the senior section, there are a few components. So the senior formals, i.e. this section, for our male identifying students, we do have a tuxedo shirt with a bow tie and the jacket. For the ladies or the female identifying students, we do have a black shawl, as you can see on the right-hand side. These pictures are completely free. There is no cost of these whatsoever if taken at school with myself. You are welcome to seek professional photography to have these done. However, that may accrue a cost to you for sitting and actually the taking of the picture itself. So we do our best to work out the blemishes or anything that needs to be photoshopped to make it a professional looking photo. There is no purchase of these pictures available, but if you want them, I am completely happy with sending them directly to you and you can print them out to your heart's content. Okay, so like I said before, this is the opportunity for a free picture to represent your student in the yearbook. The pictures and the ability to take the pictures has been available to students since July. At this very moment right now at 6:41 on September 30th, I have taken 29% of the pictures for the entire senior class. So it equates to about 73 students. Starting Monday on October 4th, we will be taking formal pictures every single day, Monday through Friday at Wiki and at lunch. Okay, so Monday through Friday, Wiki and lunch. They can come to E107, which is my classroom, to have their formal picture taken. Students that are on distance learning can come after school. If they choose not to come during the school day, they just have to email me and let me know what day they're planning on coming so that I can make sure that I stay after school to accommodate them. The final date for formal pictures, unfortunately, is next Friday. The reason why there is a final date is one, it takes approximately 2 to 3 months to edit every single student's picture. When we're looking at 200, possibly 200 plus pictures, it's a very long and arduous task that we're doing completely for free. So we need that amount of time to make sure it's done accurately and effectively to turn into the yearbook, because they also have deadlines themselves. Okay, so another opportunity in section for you is the senior section is the baby picture section. So in this one, there's opportunity for a senior picture, a baby picture, and a memory. So for that one, students need to submit all their pictures and the memory by November 19th. So the senior picture is one picture that is taken of the senior, kind of any which way you want. As you see here, this particular student, it was done outside and wearing whatever it is that he chose to wear. When it comes to the baby picture, it's also kind of similar. It's one baby picture that you have. If you do have a physical baby picture, please do not email me a picture of that picture. It will come out super grainy and is not the best quality for the actual yearbook itself. You're welcome to send it to the school with a student and we will scan it directly into the system so that we have a scanned image of it. At the same time, please refrain from any nude baby pictures. We would greatly appreciate that. And then the senior memory, we previously used to do quotes and then it just got too much to handle because everything that would have to be done in order to verify the quote and the originating source. So the shift was to a senior memory, and it's a memory from the student's perspective of their entire time in school. It doesn't have to be something that happened at school. It's just something that happened within their time frame of being in school. Does not have to even be from the senior year, can represent an amazing sport memory of maybe a touchdown that they did just to win the game, or a goal that they kicked. Can be how they met their best friend, if it was a super awkward situation and they bumped into each other and dropped all their books, or whatever. Or it could be something that is a memory that lives with them, that they want to have in the book as a memory. Can even be a shout out to their parents or whatnot. So that is those three components. For those, it's only $10 for all three of those components. The other option for families is to do a senior ad page. So here on the left-hand side is the half page. On the right-hand side is the full page. For the half page, it is $50, and for the full page, it is $100. For these, it is more of a fundraising component for the yearbook itself to make sure that the price is able to be at a lower price that is given. If you've seen any of the other yearbooks across the state, some of them get up to $70, $80 in order for us to keep it at a low price. This is part of the fundraising component. When it comes to the pages, you're welcome to fill them with whatever it is that you would like to do. For senior pictures, baby pictures, family pictures, anything like that. And then you can put in words however you want to. Same thing with the full page itself. So for the half page, the dimensions are here, 7.5 by 4.5. Like I said, with the images. Suggested programs to create the half or full page is Canva, Publisher,